So, I get on here when I don't have any notary signing appointments. And so that means you out here signing people that are, oh, my son is cleaning up his room. I just heard the vacuum. Look, ain't God good? Ain't God good? That means that you out here helping people. You are a part of the solution of helping us to close the wealth gap. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you why why we should take advantage of these opportunities that are in the hood. Because what's happened is they told us to fear the hood, and for some for the right reasons, right? But listen, corporations are buying them up like gold. If they see the value, then why don't we? The hood is not hopeless. It's a hidden gold mine. And so, what I want to break down for you today is I want to break down how you could take advantage before they lock it up for good. But I want to tell you how it got this way, because I always like to give you the historical perspective of how we got here, why we're here, but how we can take advantage and how we can empower. Because listen, if you go to the hood, if you go to Black communities, and all Black communities aren't quote unquote the hood. Speaking of which, I remember when I moved into my last neighborhood, and we were the only Black, and we were the youngest. We were the only youngest Blacks and the only Blacks in the neighborhood. Everybody was like white and over 60. Geritol. There was like a Geritol convention. But anyway, I remember the one neighbor, he said to me when I first met him, how'd you pull yourself up by your bootstraps to get over here? And then another neighbor, when I said hood, another neighbor said, "Welcome to our hood." They were relating. Yeah. So it's funny how you have these like unconscious, these subconscious opinions about a certain particular race. Even my neighbor, y'all. If you haven't heard this story, let me tell you the story real quick, and I'm gonna go. So I had this neighbor who she lived right next door to me, and her house was like half the size of mine, right? And she ended up moving. One time I'm not even gonna tell you about that time, but one she had moved out, bought another property, and she allowed these Black people to rent the house. Now there's two Black families in the neighborhood. And so we spoke in passing or something like that. But anyway, they had been there a year. She called me up. She goes, "Hey, Constance, I want to sell them this house, but I don't think that they can afford it. Blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, okay. She knows I own a mortgage company. Do you want me to help in some way? Whatever. So then she said, "Yeah, we're gonna have dinner tonight. We're gonna discuss it. So I may need your assistance." So the next day we spoke, and I said, "So how did the meeting go?" And she goes, "I don't know, it didn't go that well." And I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "I don't know. They got all defensive." And I asked them, "Is this part of this Black Lives Matter thing?" Right. So I guess she just assumed that they couldn't afford this, that they didn't have money for down payment or whatever. And so they got defensive, and they're like, "You don't know what we have. You don't know who our village is. You don't know anything about us." So, I guess she came at them like she was doing them a favor. And they're like, you don't. So they got offended. And so she tells them, "I don't know what you're talking about, because the same soup kitchen you were in, I was in. The same welfare line you were in, I was in." And I said, "You said this to them?" And she's like, "Yeah." She thought that was okay. And I said, how do you know if they were on welfare? How do you know that they were in a soup kitchen line? She was like, "Huh? Why did you assume that these people were on welfare growing up?" She's like, "I don't know." And I said, "So do you think I was on welfare?" Like, again, my house was twice the size of hers.